Howdy, Banger pals. Blayne Smith welcoming you to another Overkill Reviews, Banger's weekly metal review show. This time, I'm talking about my speciality. It's a little black metal. Take it away.
Echoes strike my head, whispers to make my ears. Father, you may go, your voice is still here, so near, like father, like son.
Today, May 24th, we get a new album from Rotting Christ called Pro Xristou on Season of Mist. Now, look, I don't need to do this, right? You know who Rotting Christ are, I assume. Standard bearers for the Greek black metal scene for over a decade. Blobbity, blobbity, blah. Anyways, it's been over 5 years since their last... It's been over 5 years since their last record? Holy jeezer, that is a lot longer than I thought. I reviewed the last one, and I was much less harsh on it than I expected. I gave it a 4.
4 out of 5 skulls that do talk too much.
Now, 2024 Blayne would probably give it a 3, but things have happened. The world is a different place, such as the passage of time. So, will this record get the proper 2024 Blayne treatment, i.e. I go full black metal snob and just shit all over it because it's a big band?
Let's find out.
Hey, wait a minute. This isn't a black metal record. This is like a black and folk record, and thank God for that. Oops, not God. Sorry, Tollist boys. I know that's a bit of a sore spot, but I am happy about this. Seriously, I do believe black metal just sounds better coming out of the underground because the access granted to you by being a mainstream act is almost all the things that water down and weaken the proper black metal sound. To me, I know some of you have terrible taste. No judgment. This is just my personal opinion. Folk metal, on the other hand, has the potential to benefit from big production, bells and whistles, and that's certainly the case here. This is an accessible, catchy record, which in black metal, blah, but in folk metal, insert that meme of girl frown and then the last album had some ladies singing behind Saki, and there's more of that here, but this time it's a lot more intense. On track 5, it's even frantic and sort of reminds me of the opera from The Fifth Element, which is fun and adds an intensity to a trope that normally removes it. Female vocals are so often snoringly used as the beauty to the beast of a male vocal, but on track 5, Androniki Skola is bringing cultist fervor to balance Saki's more reserved spoken word. Also, I was like, who is this? And I looked her up, and she does clean vocals in Christos from Septic Flesh's side project, because Greece might have 10 million people, but they're all 1 degree away from Rotting Christ or Septic Flesh. It's also very smartly buried in the track in a more black metal way than his forward vocals. And yeah, just check out how awesome this track closes. As I mentioned, catchy choruses play a pretty big part in this record. Most songs are going to swell up to some big sing-alongy moment, and I'm not even mad about it. That's the theme of this review. Things are happening. Blayne's not getting mad about it. That's partly because they frequently remind me of Paradise Lost last record, Obsidian, which I loved, and that's not a huge surprise. Both bands have flirted with gothic rock a fair bit over their careers, so it makes sense that they'd kind of cross over into similar territory. They might be coming from different disciplines in metal, but death doom and black metal have a pretty extensive goth history, so they're, yeah, just meeting at the middle at, I don't know, let's say at a Hot Topic location. Now, just to be clear, I don't think this record reaches the heights of Obsidian, as that was a massive return to form and near perfect display from Paradise Lost. And on this one, we're getting a lack of diversity that was found there. But like Father Like Son and The Sixth Day have some of the quality of the great choruses on that record, and when you hook those up to some quality melodic gothic lead guitars, you get something that's less harsh than most everything they've made, but is probably more compelling than anything they've made in years. At least to me. I know, again, to me. There is a counterpoint to this, though, and that as a result, this record has the main issue that a lot of folk metal does, and that, hey, this all sounds the same, especially in those choruses. I feel like they probably could have brought out a bit more black metal intensity to mix things up. The record does get heavier as it goes, but it's pretty much a steady ramp, so you're not getting any surprises or twists or turns. Thankfully, at a slightly conservative 46-minute runtime, it doesn't have too much of a chance to get stale. As almost always, I probably would have chopped a track or two, but for bands at this level, they usually add a track or two, so small victories are still victories. But Blayne, are you just arbitrarily cutting tracks for some time preference, or is there a track that has committed some grave offense? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Might I present that fucking tree? Yes, this is a record so folk build, it's got some Viking bullshit on it. Good news for all those guys who self-identify as Vikings but don't respect gender identity. Anyways, how dumb is it? Well, would you believe at one point it goes, hell, wolf time? Hell, wild time? Hell, axe time? Hell, sword time? Just listen.
Hell, cool time. Hell, wild time. Hell, axe time. Hell, sword time. Hell, shield time. Hell, high time.
My main complaint about the last record was that there was an extensive amount of talking, and I had the very measured response of,
"Shut the fuck up, dog, you fucking skunk!"
Thankfully, on this record, Saki's remembered, hey, wait, I can talk over music. Amazing, revolutionary. A lot of his vocals do have a spoken word quality to them, which is great because you get his thick Greek accent with it, and it adds this dramatic weight, and you're like, whoa, man, is this some ancient language? And then you're like, oh, that's just a Greek guy speaking English, and I'm drunk. I'm in a diner. It's 4 a.m. I'll take the bacon and eggs. Thanks, dude. This record doesn't have much wasted time, despite how much time I'm wasting in this review on gags. Even the intro is one of those intros that's just actually music. As a result, the moments where Saki does just speak, they have a weight to them as opposed to the get-to-the-point vibe that was all over the last record. Him saying, and on the 6th day, I created man. To start a track is sick. The only time the audibility of everything becomes a weakness is on Yggdrasil, where, yeah, wolf time, Greekification level, the Greek levels are in the red.
Let's check the Greekification levels of the Greekified kingdoms. Greekification overload. Bye.
I imagine some people will complain that, oh, Rotting Christ aren't heavy anymore. But, my dude, Rotting Christ haven't been heavy for years. I just went and saw 1349, Spectral Wound, Antichrist Siege Machine, and Spirit Possession. And I reviewed the show over on our Patreon, because we have a Patreon. You toss us a couple bucks, we give you some stuff, including a new video from me every single week. And then I don't have to advertise you a meal kit here. You can just go to the store and buy some sage. You don't need to get an individually wrapped serving of a half teaspoon of sage to sprinkle in something. All I'm saying is, I've got heavy covered. This isn't a heavy band. They're a big band, and big bands They're not heavy. I'm sorry, they're not. This record, though, they effectively use what comes with being a big band to create something that others wouldn't be able to. The black metal keeps the folk metal grounded, except on Yggdrasil, but whatever the hell happened there is mostly contained, and we get a very solid record. It might not be the most original record, it might be a little repetitive, but it is highly enjoyable. Like I said, I don't know what the hell I was smoking 5 years ago, but I don't smoke weed anymore, and I'd give their last record a 3. This is more enjoyable than that. I had fun with it, so I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 retrospective skulls. And 3.5 is a good it means I enjoyed it. Don't freak out about a 3.5. It's a good score. Means good. But, of course, we have shoutouts to close things out. I'm kind of tapped for shoutouts, so I don't have anything that's coming out this week, but I do have some records coming out next week, because next week I'm off. Next week you're getting some DK videos. Yay! So, coming out next week, keep an eye out for Black Metal in Wounded Funerals, Scalp on Satanath Records. They're Canadian. Cool. If you want some Black in Death, you've got Adversarial, Solitude with the Eternal on Dark Descent Records coming out May 31st. And if you just want some straight up death, you've got House by the Cemetery, The Mortuary Hauntings on Pulverized Records. So there's 3 more records for you. What did you think? Are you able to understand that 3.5 is a good rating, and it doesn't mean I hated a record? It's one of the difficulties of the internet. Everything's a 5 or a 1. There's got to be some nuance. Scores are weird. Please remember that I said nice things about the record. I think it's good. I enjoyed it.
You faded by